He's a man of many talents and attributes and all kinds of different things he's doing out there in the world of social media. But we want to welcome Anthony Bomasuto to the show. Anthony, how's it going, brother?
Guys, I'm very, very happy and blessed that you guys are going to have me on. Of course, I'm Avon the Sauce God for the Game Book. Thank you, Greg, obviously, for having me on for the second time now. And, of course, too, for bringing Josh Wright over to the Game Book, too. He's been awesome, even if he is a Patriots fan. Go Bills. We cover the Buffalo Bills on the Game Books page on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at TGameBook, at Avon Sauce God. And that is where most of our content's coming now, with Facebook kind of limiting some of the stuff. But you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/GameBookMafia. We have live coverage, betting stuff. As the world is kind of gearing towards sports betting becoming more and more legalized, we cover that, give out free picks. I don't give out good picks at all. But my guy that gives out hockey picks is like 80% this season, and it's unreal. So we have that. And of course, we have trading cards, which I'll talk a little bit more at the end. But of course, go Bills. Thank you guys for having me on. I'm excited to talk with you guys today.
All right, so on the gambling thing, I got to ask you real quick, where is your bread buttered the best? Like, what is your go-to? Where do you reign supreme when it comes to that inside knowledge?
Well, honestly, like when it comes to NFL, I'm like a lock. You know what I mean? Like the best picks for me, it's a lot of people like to bet before the game starts, but your most accurate bet will be at halftime. So there's not always that bet at halftime. But I can't give away all my secrets, but it's the most effective. It's about 82% effective.
So is that like in-game parlays, or is just there something specific?
Halftime bets.
Okay.
Halftime bets, and it's in relation to the total of the second half, just specifically the second half total.
Gotcha. See, it's a little inside knowledge without revealing too much. So I got you.
If people want to get the actual secret to it, they're gonna have to come over to the page and we talk about how you win and of course ways that you can win. I mean, I'm not a professional bettor. I'm more of I like to do it kind of for fun, make games more interesting. Like a $5 parlay here and there. And I mean, if it hits, it hits. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to gamble hundreds.
Okay, so you're not on a second or third mortgage. That's good.
Don't want to get that far.
See, I'm not a professional bettor either. I do it for pride, but I want to say I'm one of the best in the world at doing it because I got my blue check mark and I'm front page news, baby, when we pick NFL spreads.
So to remind the listeners, Mr. Brown did finish me top 10 nationally when it came to just picking NFL games against the spread. And
every game, every team.
I think Maurice Jones-Drew got you beat, though, didn't he?
If he did, it was in the last week when I folded.
It was like, yeah.
But I had Maurice Jones-Drew all season long.
So you can always check us out over on Pick Watch. We're not going to give you the depth or the deep dive that Anthony will, but we all like to have a little fun when it comes to gambling. And speaking of having fun,
he's got to come on this upcoming season
at least for a guest picker, at least once. So we'll get you back for sure during the football season, Anthony. But speaking of fun, maybe the funnest NFL game of the year happened to take place in the AFC divisional round between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. And if I read this correctly, you are a Buffalo Bills fan. So how are you feeling about that game now that it's like a month removed from your soul?
I'll say this first. I'm glad that I was born in 1994 after the 4 Super Bowls. I honestly, this whole 13 seconds dilemma, I don't know how people ever watched 4 years in a row at the big game and then just, get let down. I honestly don't know. It was really painful.
Most of those were blowouts, though, so that feels a little different,
Except the first one, wide
Except
right.
for the first one.
And I always feel like if they would have made that field goal in the first one, maybe they win the next 3. Who knows? I mean, you never know. But of course, it was a very entertaining game to watch. Some people really said that was the Super Bowl. I could agree with that. It just is so disappointing. We're right there to getting over the hump against the team that defeated us in the AFC Championship last year, to getting to host the AFC Championship in Buffalo this year against the Bengals. And I mean, I thought that we were a much better team than the Cincinnati Bengals had. So it sucks. And I mean, it's still, it's February 24th right now, and it's still hurting at this point. But that's the name of the game. I mean, I'm fortunate to at least see some success from the Buffalo Bills versus most of the years that I've been a fan haven't been that way. So I am grateful. It was still an exciting season. I'm still really looking forward to the future with Josh Allen, John McDermott, And now Ken Dorsey is the offensive coordinator, replacing Brian Dable too.
Hey,
It still hurts.
he's probably a good coordinator because he sure as hell couldn't throw the ball. He had to be smart enough to at least figure it out. So he might be
Well,
good at
usually the
college
guys
game.
that couldn't throw the ball are tend to be better coaches. Doug Peterson.
Exactly. So if you had to say, I'll tell you what, just fill in the blank. In the offseason, the Buffalo Bills have to do blank to win the Super Bowl.
Improve the defense, and I don't know whether that. See, here's the thing: we were Tre'Davious White short of beating the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry, and I mean that's something that people don't remember, because if they don't remember that Tre'Davious White had a season-ending injury against, I think it was Tampa Bay, or earlier than that. But I mean, if he'd been there, that probably makes the difference. I mean, he is an all-pro caliber cornerback, so I think they need to either get a pass rusher or a better defensive tackle. They need a big body in the middle of the field to kind of bully their way and make it harder for teams to run against us. I think that ultimately we were pretty good in the past, even without Tre'Davious White. But like, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, they're ultimately going to attack you in that sense. But if you allow them to run the football too, there's just no way. So you have to be able to stop them somehow, making it harder to do. If you make it hard to do one thing, it makes it harder to do the other thing too. So I think improving that rush defense is going to be the most important thing.
So let's hit on some more of your favorites here. I see you're rocking the Yankees cap, and Mr. Brown and I talked a little bit about the work stoppage that we got right now. So just real quick, when do you think we'll have the start of baseball?
I think the start of the regular season will come. I predicted. I took guess last night, April 17th. For some reason that's my date. I don't anticipate. You know, in today's age, you know, we saw the last lockout for the NBA. It only lasted for 16 total regular season games. Got shortened to 66. But I don't anticipate the MLB having to take that much time. I mean, especially already having COVID affected seasons, where that obviously affects the revenue that owners generate, as well as players' salary. I mean, so I'm sure that both sides do have a sense of eagerness. I mean, like, come on, grow up a little bit. Come to an agreement. Find your middle ground. At the end of the day, that's what has to happen. You know, not one side is going to completely submit. Come and find a middle ground, and that's why I think April 17th will see the season resume.
So we'll ask you about your Yankees then real quick. Are they going to do anything once they get an opportunity to actually talk to any free agents out there? What is their season going to look like? What are your hopes or prognostications for the Bronx Bombers?
It's sad that I honestly I don't have that level of optimism, I guess, about the Yankees. It doesn't seem to have that magic to the franchise that they once had. I mean, I still anticipate that they're going to be a good team. They'll probably compete for the playoffs, but I really don't see them as a championship contender. And I mean, what reason do I have to? If they're incredibly inconsistent, hitting the ball, striking out. I mean, you bring in the Joey Gallo trade, for instance. I did not understand that. You want to go buy more home runs and more strikeouts instead of more hits, walks. I mean, more runs. I mean, I hope the Yankees find a way to let go of Chad Green. I don't know what the hell that guy does. He comes in 3-4 runs. I got to turn the TV off. So at the end of the season, I really started to become incredibly disappointed when they had such a good win streak, and they immediately followed up with a losing streak. So they're just incredibly inconsistent. There's just too much drama between, is Aaron Boone a good manager? Is he an analytics guy? There's too much talk and not enough winning. So for me to buy into the New York Yankees right now, as a sports fan before I am a team fan, I'd be lying to you if I said that I was excited for the Yankees season. I mean, we'll see. I hope they prove me wrong, but I don't have much ambition.
So I'll double down on what you said. I agree. But I like the Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, I do too. And speaking of, I just got a numbered card of him too, which is pretty nice.
So I like that trade, but then you double down with Gallo. It makes sense because to me, you all needed pitching at that point, and they completely disregarded pitching. But on a positive note, in the offseason, it appears that the two front runners for Freddie Freeman are the Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays.
How do you feel about that, Greg? I mean, before you ask me, how do you feel about that?
I love Freddie Freeman. Don't get me wrong. I feel like he's going to be a guy that ages gracefully because, like, his body and
the way he plays,
the way he plays, it projects long term. You might feel sorry about it for the last year or two. I don't feel like this is going to be an Albert Pujols type deal. I feel like the guy's going to produce wherever he goes for the next 6 years at least, because he's that good of a hitter. But that being said, he didn't put up our best stats of the year. That would have been Austin Riley even after Acuna went down. So I have a hard time paying $30 million for a guy who might be our second best or third best offensive player when we could go out and get 2 or 3 pieces. But this ain't about me. I'm wearing the hat. I got the ring. So my son, who's going to turn 13 in April, don't know what a ring is for the Yankees. So I just hope you guys figure it out.
Well, I mean, let me say this about Freddie Freeman. I would definitely. I mean, I was more curious if it's going to affect you to lose him. You know what I mean? Does it hurt to see him going? I would definitely welcome him. I mean, it's definitely pricey. I'm not really worried about it. Will he produce? I think he does produce consistently. I think that he's also one of those good human beings, kind of a good character. Something the Yankees need more of. I mean, they have that with Aaron Judge, but I just don't see enough leadership within the dugout completely. I don't see Aaron Boone getting guys fired up, so I need somebody on the team to do it. And I mean, it's funny. I was just watching the '86 Mets documentary on 30 for 30.
Oh, it's amazing, like, isn't it?
We need like without the drugs and alcohol, of course. We need a guy like Keith Hernandez to come out and get a little bit more knowledge and
need a glue
just
guy.
build the team. Yeah, I mean, we don't have that right now. And
sadly, Aaron Boone is your Davy Johnson, man. I mean, I'm thinking like, how many times would the Mets have won if they had someone other than Davy Johnson? Because I know he let them do what they wanted to do, but my God, they could have been a dynasty.
Maybe that's the only reason why they even put it together the way they did.
I know, but I'm just saying.
You never know.
I'm just saying. I hate to say that about Aaron because his brother Booney's a friend of the show too, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Boone, he can't put everything on the manager completely. I mean, injury is something that he can't control. Chad Green is something he can't entirely control. He can control putting him in, but I think Aaron Boone does about as good of a job as you can really expect. I don't really think you need to necessarily go and fire the guy. I think that in any sport, when you have a general manager or a manager or a head coach, you need to give them sufficient time to see their vision come to life. And if he has a vision for this team, he should be given a chance to make it happen. But the Yankees also need to be on the baseball field in order to to see if it can happen. If he has the tools and he can't make it happen, then you can talk about firing him. But at this point, I'm okay with him. He doesn't get me fired up. You know what I mean? Joe Girardi at times got me fired up watching him. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think give him a chance to do his job.
I understand completely. I wouldn't fire the guy either, but if you had to give me one prediction right now as we stand without any more offseason moves, would you pick the Yankees, Sox, or the Rays to win a division right now?
What about the Blue Jays?
Oh, and the Blue Jays.
Sorry. I was going to say Jays are a dark horse, but I don't know, man. It just feels like they get that close every year and they just can't get over that hump. I think if you want me to be honest, I see the Red Sox this year. I think the Rays are obviously going to be the consensus favorite, but the Red Sox had that magic. Just at times it wasn't there. But they're obviously that, like the last time I was on here, he talked about that this is the Red Sox's time versus the Yankees. I felt a lot of magic watching the Yankees as a kid, but I don't feel that now. Versus I'm sure Red Sox fans feel that. And I mean, as much as I don't like the Red Sox, I do respect their organization. I respect their talent too. So I see them taking the division. Maybe the Jays finish second in the division though. Might be a little bit of a surprise with them.
All right. I can ride with all that. So let's transition just to the last little thing I want to talk about with you is you're into the collectible game here a little bit. And, for those that have been kind of following along with Greg's baseball groups and stuff going on, I'm going to kind of move the camera here so everyone can kind of see. Look at all this crap over here on the table, these baseball cards that he's been accumulating. And then, Anthony's reaching over his shoulder for something here. So, it's kind of made a comeback, the collectible aspect of trading cards and things like that. And I haven't gotten back into it myself, but I ain't gonna lie. The other day I was like at the store and they had the shiny packages and shit. And I was like, I might buy me something because you never know. You could open up like a Joe Burrow, card and I'd be excited. But anyway, the whole thing about collectibles. So where's your tie into this? What are you doing? What's the market like with it? And why are we having this revitalization, so to speak?
Well, those are all good questions, and these are all questions that I asked. He's one of my best friends, Sam Bernasini. He's the one that runs. Well, I mean, I run the game books page, and everything comes through me, and I market it, and I have a hand in everything. But Sam's the one that came up with the idea of hosting his own card show, and he explained it to me that cards were coming back around. This is about maybe 3, 4 months ago, and I think it's coming around because as much as I hate to talk about it, the economy is really, really, really taking a huge downturn. We all know that. I mean, we're all aware of it. So as currency and stuff like that is kind of crumbling, the value of things like cards are kind of becoming like trade assets. You know what I mean? So it almost seems like it's becoming more of an economic sense. But I also think too, the biggest reason is because of younger players that are in the game and how exciting they are and how social media can promote them. And nowadays cards are being made to look, I mean, if you look at a baseball card in 1970 versus how it looks in 2022, it's much different. I mean, it captures the attention of kids too, but also people that have been collecting for years. It brings back a nostalgia for them too. I mean, once you're a collector, you're typically always a collector. So that market will always continue, but it's trending now because younger people are seeming to buy into that it's an investment too. I wanted to quick show just some cards I actually got by giveaways. And this is not from Sammy Sports Cards. This is from other people. But I don't know. I've had this real serious streak lately. But this is a Ken Griffey patch card from '92. That's a piece of his baseball pants, I guess, that he wore in a game. Cool. This one though is the ultimate one. I think you guys might appreciate this. It's from Super Bowl I quarterback Len Dawson autographed patch card. Of course, he wasn't on the winning side, but stuff like that has value to it. And sure, it's also a gamble in a sense, so it's kind of thrilling too. I'm going to talk about breaks here in a second, but it's got a thrill to it, and it's exciting because of what's available now, the product that's available now, the investment, and what it could be valued at in years versus what it could be valued now too. I'm not personally a person that likes to collect cards and sell them, but should I have kids someday, it would be cool to pass down things that I've held on my mantle that are valuable to me. I mean, that Len Dawson card is a piece of football history. So the fact that I have it up on my mantle is a cool thing for me. But
Absolutely.
for people that are doing it for money purposes, there is a lot of value. Of course, there is a risk to it because, like I said, it's a gamble. So what's going on now too is with the trend of internet. Obviously, we all know the internet is the ruler of the entire world at this point. You can do anything. Everybody's finding ways to use it for businesses. So what card shops, card collectors are doing are what we call breaks, where they buy steel boxes of product, whether it's Bowman, Don Russ, anything like that. And basically they'll charge people per pack or per team. And whatever, like if you buy per team, they'll break all the cards out of the box. And whatever cards are for a team, you'll get those cards. So if you have the Dolphins and you pull a Jalen Waddle autograph rookie card or whatever, then it's yours. So it's like it's a gamble in that sense. I don't personally get into that part of it, but what we do is we have breaks of seal boxes with packs. We buy per packs so that you're guaranteed cards no matter what. We've had several cards actually that are like valued in hundreds. I just pulled a couple from Sam myself a couple weeks ago. So I know that you said that you were thinking about kind of maybe getting back into that area. The hardest thing is it's hard to get those boxes yourself at prices that are affordable. It's very hard to get them. They're usually auctioned off, first come, first served. And once they're gone, they don't restock them. You have to get them from third-party services like eBay or whatever. So
Right.
breakers usually have them for cheaper prices, but they're still making a pretty solid profit too. But it's like I said, it's a risk. It's pretty thrilling. I don't know. It's kind of fun too. It really is.
And it used to be the only reason why I liked baseball cards wasn't for the collectible aspect. It was just because I wouldn't know what their damn stats were unless I had the card. You know, that's how I had to figure out if they were a good player or not.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. You still see statistics on the back of cards, but it's funny that that's not what's so important nowadays. It's all about the look and appearance. Certain players, obviously, basketball, everybody's obsessed with LaMelo Ball, John Morant, but I mean, I find value in anything that's just cool, that's different, unique. Like I said, I'm not one of those money hungry type people. Just to get the cards I have, I'm thrilled.
All right. Well, here's a question for you. I'm just thinking about cards and all this stuff. Are you a sunflower seed guy or are you a big league chew guy?
Both.
A good answer. Just not together at the same time. That would be terrible.
And here's the thing too. Everybody loves, I think it's the sour apple flavor.
No, you got to go grape. You just got to go classic grape, man.
I don't even think people really remember this. They had sour cherry. Sour cherry was my absolute favorite. It was discontinued, but it was just, it's so hard to not swallow that gum. That's how good it
was. Well, hey, do us a favor before we wrap up and let you go. Give everybody a plug one more time for all your stuff out there. Say it nice and clear so everybody can seek you out and get all this great knowledge that you're spilling out, whether it's in the gambling field or it's in the collectibles field. So tell everybody where to find you.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys very much. Of course, Chad, Greg, very much. I'm A-Bomb the Sauce God. Follow me on Twitter, A-Bomb Sauce God. God is great. God is good. Glory to God always. You can follow us on Twitter for our main page of T Gamebook, Facebook at facebook.com/GamebookMafia for all your sports news. Bills news primarily, but we also have some sports betting picks, DFS drafts. We've got sports trading card breaks and much, much more for you guys. Also, too, on a side note, I also do chicken wing reviews, which are kind of a little entertaining. I mean, being from Buffalo. Go Bills. Shout out to my boys, Timmy, Gage, Drew, Sam, Craig, everybody. That's it. That's all I really want to say, man. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Hey, last thing, I'll let you go. Since you're a chicken wing review guy, Buffalo Wild Wings on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put it at?
I mean, those aren't really chicken wings. That's just a mimic.
All right. That means
I give a 5 out of 10.
You were good. Stop while you're ahead. The fact that you just pissed all over, that means that I can trust your chicken wing reviews.
Exactly. Hey, if you want one of the best chicken wings in Buffalo, man, go to the Big Tree, and it's right next to where the Bills play football.
We're going to have to make a road trip up there one day.
I agree.
You might even run into some Bills players. It's a hidden gem of Buffalo. That's where they hang out, too. I've met a couple. I have.
All right. Well, we'll get some of our memorabilia and go up there and see if we can get some stuff signed, man. All right, Anthony, thanks so much for joining us tonight, brother. We'll see you on the flip side.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.